Chariots of Fire, released in 1981 and is directed by Hugh Hudson, who has also directed such films like I Dreamed of Africa, My Life So Far, and Revolution. And this film has a very white cast of Ben Cross, Ian Charleson, Nigel Havers, Cheryl Campbell, Nigel Davenport, Brad Davis, and Ian Holm. And this film did win Best Picture at the 1981 Academy Awards because it's the 80s, and this film is as melodramatic as shit. Chariots of Fire tells the story of two very avid runners, Harold Abrams, who attends the University of Cambridge and experiences anti-Semitic prejudice for being Jewish, and also Eric Liddell, who is a devout Christian wishing to be a missionary for China, and runs for the glory of God. And these two fast and very fine British runners collide back and forth with each other about being the best, all culminating to a couple of heats at the 1924 Olympic Games. And when I read the plot synopsis of this film about it talking about anti-Semitism and prejudice that Abrahams is feeling when he's at the University of Cambridge, the thing that really just punched me, and it's probably the time, especially with the last couple of years with Black Lives Matter movements and things like that, it just hit me over the head just how this prejudice that they're feeling is so privileged and so top-tier 1%. And I hate saying the P word, and I can acknowledge that that exists in this film. If you want an idea of what the idea of white privilege is, Exhibit A. Abrahams is getting a couple of anti-Semitic remarks and a couple of side eyes from a few of his professors at the University of Cambridge. And really, that's all. That's all that we see in this film. We don't see him being bullied in the hallways or in class. From what I gather, he is actually pretty popular amongst his classmates. He won a little running competition in the middle of the university square and beat the record, I guess, that stood for like 7 generations. Everyone cheered him on and drank with him and clapped for him and applauded him. I'm not getting the anti-Semitism, and even the anti-Semitic things that are said. I've heard worse, not to put one thing like what's bad and what's good anti-Semitism, I'm not trying to say that, but from what is said here, it's said in a very professional manner, so the impact of the anti-Semitism that's being said is just completely lost on me. And all of these things are being said as all of them are dressed in bow ties and tuxedos, eating like a 5-course meal with fine china and silver goblets aplenty. And I'm just thinking, really? Prejudice? Boo fucking who for you? I do enjoy Ben Cross, though. Whenever he's on screen, you immediately go, you are classically trained. Let's just give you some Shakespeare and have you read that for me. I could probably fall asleep to it, actually. I know him, of course, mostly as Maligan from First Night. Such a fun movie and such a cool role. But here, Abrahams, he's never lost before. And all of a sudden, this little guy comes around and beats him. And he is humbled, and he starts working that much harder. And he's trained by Ian Holm, who was very much a white man, playing an Arab. Growing up as a straight white male, yes, I had to work for everything. Everything that I have here is something that I worked for, but I guess you just never realize the idea of white privilege and how it does exist out there until you go back and watch like old Hollywood movies from the 70s and the 80s and films like this, because my God, how did anyone connect to any of these characters in this film? Oh, my life is so hard. I'm at the University of Cambridge and going to be a lawyer, and I make millions of dollars a year, but gosh, I'm just so sad because I lost a race. Cry me a river. And that's only half of the story. Then we get over to the character of Eric Liddell, who is like the best runner to ever run the runs. He never loses in this film. And people like beg him, hey, we want to race you, or we want you to race, we want to see you run. And he always obliges. The British get him for the Olympic Games because they want to win gold medals. But his big conflict or obstacle in this film is that the qualifying heats for the Olympic Games fall on a Sunday, and because he is a devout Christian, a hardcore Christian, Sunday is God's day, so you can't do anything else on Sunday except for praising his name. And people wonder why I left the Christian religion. And it's such bullshit, because the entire film, he's talking to his wife, who hates that he runs, but in the end is like, hey, I'll support you, even though the entire time I'm going to be nagging you to death. The entire time he's saying how, I think God has put me here for a reason. God's made me fast. Like, really fast. I wouldn't be doing the Lord's will if I didn't run very fast. Terrible Scottish accent, I'm sorry. That's the whole thing. He's talking this entire time about, yes, I know I'm a missionary, and I know we need to spread the word of God, that's fine if you choose to do that. Awesome. But you're also talking about how God put you on this planet to run. That is your big claim to wanting to run. And then you get to the Olympic Games and just the heap. A couple of seconds of you running. And no, that's God's day. I can't run on Sunday. And then white privilege comes in and they said, well, we'll just have you run on Thursday to qualify then. Where's the conflict? And it all leads up to the climactic gold medal race, and I say build up, but there really is no building up to it. There's no suspense on who's gonna win. The man never lost throughout the film, and everyone else is kind of just like, yeah, he's fast, he's good, he's probably gonna win. They tried to sneak in a line in there like, oh, this is his third race, he's probably gonna be very tired. But it's all for naught, because you go, yeah, he's gonna win. Come on. What's the fucking climax of this movie? Is the climax of the movie him running across the finish line terribly? I used to run track and field in high school, and don't get me wrong, I was terrible. I was god-awful. I run the 100-meter hurdles and the 300-meter hurdles. I sucked. I was able to get 1 point, though, which got me my varsity letter for a varsity jacket. I never did get the thing, but I thought that was still cool. I got 1 point for the entire season. But the thing I remember being coached on is when you're racing, you race all the way through the finish line and then you slow down, you try to stop yourself. You don't start stopping yourself until you cross the finish line. And here's this little guy, and as he's coming up to the finish line, he's doing this weird, arms-waving, Vin Diesel-type run. No! Are there any, like, professional runners out there, or people that still do it to this day? Any of you watch this channel? Am I wrong on that? I'm 99.9% certain that is the wrong thing to do when you're running. At least when Abraham's got to the finish line, he would lean forward, which is what you're supposed to do. This movie won Best Picture. If that's not a mirror to society, I don't know what is. The only thing, redeemable thing, about this movie is the amazing score and the amazing music by Vangelis. It's one of the most iconic movie themes in the history of cinema. How many of you out there ran to that? Or how many of you out there fake slow motion ran to that at some point in your life? Every single one of you did. Is it sad, though, that I think the first time I heard that song was in The Grinch when he's doing the sack race with the children? Is that bad? And not just that theme song, the entire score for this movie is amazing. Take that out. I don't know what we have here. The film really embodies the ideas of white privilege and really how the Academy views themselves whenever they get to the Academy Awards. Whole thing seemed like one big congratulations to yourself. Hey, we're awesome. Hey, we did a good job. Hey, we're gonna win the gold medal, and no one's gonna stand a chance. If you're gonna watch this movie, again, watch it for the score. The only storyline that I had somewhat of an attachment to was the Abram storyline, because he was struggling to make it to a gold medal. He was struggling to make it to the win. Not this little character whose big conflict is, oh, the heaps are on Sunday. That's God's day. I can't do anything else on Sunday for God. It says so in the Bible, and everything in the Bible is true and should be taught and believed, and there's no hypocrisy in there at all. This is the second time I've viewed this film. It's probably going to be the last time I view this film. I'm going to give Chariots of Fire 2 out of 5 Blu-rays.
I've had better.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and a little movie came out on HBO Max last week, part of a franchise that I've reviewed here on this channel. I think it's fitting that I should see the third installment of the Conjuring franchise. I say I review the franchise, I've only seen the Conjuring movies. I haven't watched any of the Annabelles or the Nun films. It's all about the Warrens for me, sorry. I love these characters, I love reading their real life stories. I finished last summer the book The Demonologist, and they talk about different times they've been called to military academies and police stations, and I can't remember if this story that this movie is based on, if this was in there, but all the accounts that they've been told and that the experience are some of the most chilling things that I've ever read in a book, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Conjuring 3. So we'll check it out next time. If any of you have recommendations of films that you want me to review on here, you can leave a recommendation below this video, or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter, leave your recommendation there, and if I have access to it, I will watch, review it, and give you a shout on the channel. And if you want me to do your recommendation as quickly as I possibly can and bypass the whole random generator that I have here, you can make a PayPal donation on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do, just attach your movie with the donation, and if I have access to it, I will watch it and publish my review of it as quickly as I possibly can. So guys, have you seen Chariots of Fire? What did you think about it? Am I completely crazy and whack on my take on Chariots of Fire? I don't think I am, but if I am, please comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button and make sure you hit that bell. See you the next time I release my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of The Conjuring. The devil made me do it. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.